What's up, gamers? Welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Tatarigoroshi. Last time, Keiichi was finding out that he is pretty useless. Hopefully we can actually do something this time to help. You know, whether that include murder, not up to me. It's up to Keiichi. So we're just gonna continue on chapter 7. I don't think there's a pro to saving in different save slots, right? Because, like, it's not like we're making any choices, right? So why do we need 10 folders of save slots? It's fine, I guess. Load. Time for a wholesome festival! You're right! You're right! It's time for a festival. It's time for Watanagashi, right? It's finally time. The die of fate had been cast. Oh, what hecking happened? Did something big happen that I'm forgetting? Heck. Reporting to a public agency. Right! We reported it! We reported it! That's what happened last time. He's not useless. Keiichi isn't useless. They talked to the teacher and he heckin' reported it. That's what happened. Also, hydration. Hydration. Thank you, thank you. Reporting to a public agency, which we'd kept being warned could instead result in something far worse for Satoko if we didn't have the evidence first. And just like that. Well, let me turn that volume down. Just like that. Had I failed? Had I let my emotions get the better of me in that moment? Maybe I should have stayed silent and left everything to Mio since she had been relatively calm. Remember the punishment game where we had to badmouth Curry and how me saying anything would have made it worse and Satoko told us to leave the talking to her? Maybe it was the same thing here. I was impulsive. Maybe I should have just shut up and looked at the floor. But it was too late to lament it. The die I had thrown wouldn't be coming back into my hands. All we could do was pray for something good to happen.
Ichi-kun, you did everything you could. So leave it to the teachers for now. Okay?
Everything I could? If I really gave it everything I had, if I really struggled, I would have dragged Satoko out of her home last night and hidden her in some abandoned house. I didn't, so that means I didn't do everything I could. Jesus.
Stop thinking about it, alright? You're being a little too persistent, Keiichi-kun. At this rate, you'll collapse.
Just leave me alone. I left her with those words and stared lazily up at the ceiling. I wondered if I had really got Chie-sensei to understand. Would the public agency intervene and solve everything within the day? Would they acknowledge the abuse and guarantee her safety? After lunch break, our afternoon classes were mostly self-study. Teacher came back to the classroom occasionally, but then the phone in the lounge would ring and she'd have a long conversation with the caller. Everyone in class got the feeling they knew what those phone calls were about, since they came trotting back from the classroom. I'm really sorry for all the phone calls recently. Let's call it a day. President, please lead the class. Everyone stand up! Looked to me that sensei had been wearing a dark expression ever since after the lunch break. It wasn't a very relieving expression. It wouldn't be. Even if sensei 100% understood the situation and passionately explained it to the other person. In the end, the Child Consultation Center, as a public agency, would be the ones to decide whether to get her to safety. Sensei understood that as well as us, and that's why she looked so unreliable right now. Kei-chan, let's go home. I don't think anyone feels like having club today. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anyone feels like having club at all recently.
Mi-chan, it's no fun if someone's not here.
Brennan was right. It was no fun for us if someone was missing. The teacher's expression had shown more promise that maybe we could have gone home more comfortably. But I couldn't let myself feel relieved. Couldn't be naive and tell myself all I could do is pray now that the dice have been cast. Just in case they didn't get her to safety and decided to wait and see again. I needed to take further measures. We've asked the people who could do something official already. Then there was one more place that was worth asking for help. She might laugh it off, or I might be right, and I could be endangering my own life. But I'd try. Oh, Mion, is it okay if I stop by your place today? You got a lot of manga, right? I want to borrow a bunch of them. Huh? Sure, I guess. There was an ominous meaning behind my words, so Mion realized what I really meant right away. I wanted to talk about something alone. That's what I meant. Mi-chan!
Mi-chan, Keiichi-kun. Let's go home.
Ren already had her shoes on, was waving to us from the schoolyard. He's gonna talk to the Yakuza. Stone cold. I know. But if he really feels like he has to do everything he possibly can, then I guess that includes talking to the Yakuza. You know? Ren already had her shoes on. Yeah. Mion's house was gigantic in every way imaginable. The house itself was a vaguely old-fashioned, traditional Japanese house, but the yard, I guess, or the plot of land, was enormous. It easily convinced me that they were really major landowners with Hinamizawa under the thumb. Mion brought me through the guest room, and the servant brought us some tea. Servant? Bruh. Wow, you really are rich, huh? You even got housekeepers? Grandma and I are the only ones who live here. I wouldn't be able to do everything myself. The servant left, telling us it was 5 o'clock, and then withdrew with soft footsteps. We have people come in to take care of Grandma and clean 2 or 3 times each week. They come in rotations of 3 or 4, so there's someone here almost every day. Well, only until evening, though. Oh, and if we're having a party or something where we need more help, we call up different people. If you have the money to hire all these people, then just take Satoko in. Keiichi! Stop! I glared at her as I thought that, and Mion seemed to catch on immediately. Oh, sorry. It's fine. I know it's not a money problem. Just to be clear, my family may be rich, but it's not money that I use freely for myself, okay? I don't want you to misunderstand that. Kind of looked like I was bullying her. Mion had been apologizing to me a lot lately. Is Mion the sort of person that would do that this much? Maybe it's just that I've been looking so grim lately. So, what's up? You had something to talk about, right? I have something pretty serious to discuss, Mion. This will be sudden and you might be surprised, but I want you to hear me out. Huh? What? Oh, I'll give you a way out first. Even if what I say is true, you don't need to admit it. You're allowed to play dumb. But I want you to listen until the end. I have something to say to the next leader. What's still the most important of the 3 families of Onigafuchi Village, Mion and Sonozaki. What the heck is Keiichi doing? I don't know what he's gonna say. First, Mion looked like she had no idea what I was saying, but at hearing the whole sentence and putting it together, she reacted. Where did you hear that? It doesn't really matter. Definitely couldn't tell her who told me. Takano-san, you told me not to, but please forgive me. This was why I asked you about it after all. I was surprised that you'd heard of Onigafuchi Village, Kei-chan. But you seem to know a lot of things, both true and false, about me too. Yeah, true and false. I really might just have the wrong impression here. But I'm okay with that, so listen. And if it really is true, I don't know what you're getting at, Kei-chan. But let me say this beforehand. You've got a big misunderstanding. So if it were possible, I wouldn't want to hear what you're about to say. Because even if you said it, I can't do anything to help you. Still, if talking about it will lighten your burden even a little, I'll listen. I'm only just going to listen. Nothing more will happen. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Mion seemed to know the kind of thing I'd be talking about. She warned me that doing so would be fruitless. That much was obvious. If what I was going to say was true, then the Sonozaki family would be the masterminds behind the freak deaths that had been occurring every year in Hinamizawa. So that's what you're gonna talk about? Keiichi! Keiichi, you don't want to talk about that to them. You don't want to do that. Oh my god.
Hey, Vamps, hope you're doing well. When is the next Animorph stream? Also, I might have COVID anyways, have a nice day.
Sketch, you can't just throw in, I might have COVID. I hope you're doing okay, bro. Thank you for the resub. When is the next Animorph stream? When I start being able to read appropriately. Such sad music over this, but man, wouldn't it be wacky if comic large anvil fell on Teppei's head? Haha. Yeah. Yeah, let me turn down the volume just a bit. Yeah. So I wanted to do an Animorph stream once a month, so we could knock out a book a month, and then it would take 52 months to do the entire thing. but we'll see. We'll see. You know that stuff about Yashiro-sama's curse, right? Mio nodded a little. No one knows what it is or why it happens. Even if each incident is solved, the string of deaths and accidents as a whole is still a mystery. There's no one thing connecting them all. And that's how the targets are always enemies of the village. Seems like it. Mion spoke as if it didn't relate to her. That was fine. She didn't have to admit it. For now, I just wanted her to stay quiet and listen to me. Day after tomorrow. What's Nagashi, isn't it? Has the sacrifice for this year's curse been decided already? Mion didn't answer. Her expression remained the same too. Like she said, he was just quietly listening. Sorry. Promise that you just listen, so it's weird for me to ask a question, huh? Mion gave me a look that she'd never given me before. A faraway look. A sympathetic one. She didn't nod, she just smiled faintly and listened to me. If this year's curse isn't going to be on Satoko's uncle, then please change it to him. I mean, last year it was her aunt, right? It's in the right order, so it wouldn't be weird. You're right, seems like there's an order. I mean, after her aunt died to the curse last year, he abandoned Satoko and fled the town for a whole year. Why wouldn't a guy like that definitely be the next on Yashiro-sama's list? There shouldn't be any issue with choosing him for this year. I see. If he were to die from the curse this year, no one would see anything unusual about it. I heard that Yashiro-sama's curse is, well... No matter how I looked at it, I wasn't sure whether I should continue. No matter how I tried, the words wouldn't come out. The string of freak deaths in Hinamizawa, also called the Yashiro-sama's curse. You're saying there are also incidents perpetrated by the village, carried out by the three families of Sonozaki's instructions? Is that it? I don't care one bit whether you have anything to do with it. I'm just saying, if you have any way of communicating with whoever decides the targets of the curse, then I just want you to tell them to choose Satoko's uncle. Please. Everything you've been saying has been terrible. The freak death incidents in Hinamizawa were carried out by the will of the Sonozaki family. That would mean the main culprit would be me, wouldn't it? I would have chosen the target of the curse, given the instructions, killed many people, and gotten rid of the others. You're calling me a murderer, Kei-chan. I didn't say that. Didn't you listen to me? I don't care whether you're the one behind the murders or not. I just don't. Even if you were the culprit, it doesn't change the fact that you're my friend. Oh, yeah, he'd help her hide a body, you know? Doesn't matter at all. The police were chasing you, I'd come help. I'd make you an alibi, even help you escape. Because we're friends and comrades. Nakama, aren't we? Mion looked surprised for a while. He was dumbfounded. Now you're declaring yourself complicit? Kei-chan, that's pretty bold of you. Come on, don't interrupt. Satoko's uncle, choose him for... Stop right there, Kei-chan. I want to start on dinner soon, so I'd like to leave things at this. But, Mion... I realized that my cheeks were wet with tears. I slid down my chin and fell, drip drop, to the tatami mat. Like I said at the start, you've got a big misunderstanding. The Yashida-sama's curse is just that. Even if there were people behind those incidents, they don't have anything to do with the Sonozaki family, or me either. Right, I understand that. It's just... It was touching to hear such a desperate plea, Kei-chan, but that's all it was. Even if I wanted to help, I can't. You understand that too, right? Yeah. But now I know how you feel, so well it hurts. If I really were, like you said, the one controlling the 3 families and choosing sacrifices every year, I'd probably grant your wish. Mion. The reality is different. I'm just Mion Sonozaki. The family may be the subject of all sorts of bad rumors about controlling Hinamizawa from the shadows. We have nothing to do with the freak death incidents. We maybe have been a little extreme during the dam war, but that's all. We would never do something so insane as to kill people. Don't say such sad things. Right now, at least, I don't care. Why can't you just be nice and lie to me? Kei-chan, you're free to believe what you like. If I lied to you now, you'd be convinced Satoko would be freed the night after tomorrow, and you'd be able to shed as much as your burden. However, reality is harsh. Satoko's uncle will survive beyond that day. He'll still be alive next week, and the week after that. You need to prepare yourself for that. I don't want you coming to me the day after Watsunagashi and demanding to know why he wasn't killed. Mion stood up slowly and closed the sliding door to keep out the wind that had grown chilly. Was it Mio-san? Did she give you all those ideas? She really likes to misunderstand things about Hinamizawa. Well, we can't have her. Let her have her fun. But I don't want her influencing you, Kei-chan. Jeez. This is why outsiders are no good. Oh. This is why outsiders are no good. Mion. I'm detecting a, what's it called? A target on someone's back. Takano-san has nothing to do with it. Right. Don't worry. Even though I know she told you about it, Kei-chan, nothing's going to happen. It's not like Mio-san would be chosen for this year's curse. It's not like she will be chosen for this year's curse. Oh my god. Imagine. This is an interesting twist compared to the other chapters. Keiichi trying to be on the other side of the killings. True. Now that he actually has someone he wants to murder, like legit, like he's fine being the ones to commit, you know? She won't be chosen, smiley face. I know. I don't know what I'm saying. Besides, we don't even know for sure if the curse will happen this year. Maybe it was all just a pile of unfortunate coincidences. Thanks for listening. If you aren't connected to the serial deaths at all, then it might have been just an uncomfortable conversation. I'll apologize for it. I see. You'll apologize for it. What was with the laugh? Mion said she didn't have much time, but she still brought me to the gate. said she had a meeting or something today about Sunday's What's Nagashi festival. There would be a lot of people from the town council and the festival committee coming. Despite her day being so busy, she still listened to what I had to say. There's a God in heaven, and he probably understands how strongly you feel. Yeah, I'm really sorry for being so weird today. You can pretend like this discussion never happened if you want. Okay, I'll forget about it. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. I had really only spent a short time with Mion. Talking to her made me think. It was clear that what Takano-san had told me, at least, wasn't a complete fabrication. Mion was really, really unconnected to the incidents, and she probably wouldn't have listened to me so quietly. She heard me out until I was done making any quips, without making any quips, and I wanted to think that was proof. I did feel like I was grasping at straws. Of course, thinking back on it, it was a terrible thing to discuss. I mean, I went to my friend's house, called her to serial murder, and then told her to kill Satoko's uncle. Yeah, doesn't seem like the best thing to do. I was the only one talking the whole time. Mion quietly listened to everything I had to say like a pastor listening to a confession. She could have gotten angry partway through, told me off, go wash my face in miso soup and come back later. But she didn't. Is that proof that Mion's family, the Sonozakis, were the masterminds? Was she just listening because she felt sorry for me for going kinda crazy? I don't know which it was. But it was the only one effort I could make at the moment. It was another form of insurance. Should the worst come to worst and the public agency decide to wait and see. It was completely useless resistance, literally grasping at straws. Sensei said if she reported it to the Child Consultation Center, they'd have to respond on the same day. Would they already be in the middle of responding to it now? Satoko came to school tomorrow morning all energetic, and everything would just be a needless fear. Why couldn't tomorrow come faster? That night was unusually hot and humid, and I couldn't get to sleep. I said all that to Sensei. They couldn't possibly decide to wait and see again this year. Satoko, what was it like for her tonight? Had she tasted the end of her nightmare, enjoying the night of liberation? I actually put my hands together and prayed into my futon. Oh, morning! Oh, heck.
Morning, Keiichi-kun.
Morning.
Thank goodness. I thought you overslept today, too. Your mom said you had gone ahead yesterday, and then you weren't at school. I was worried that you had gotten a heat stroke halfway there.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for all the worry I caused you yesterday. Hey, good morning!
Hey, John, good morning. Wow, you really stink of liquor. You'll get found out for sure.
Oh, God. Alright, wasn't there a big business meeting with all the people on the town council yesterday? They only called it that. It was more like a party. We have a festival every year, right? We wouldn't have any annoying meetings at this point. Are you gonna help out with the festival this afternoon, then? Yep. I have to do a meet and greet with all sorts of people in Grandma's place. Besides, they already started setting up for the festival. Our morning conversation was lighthearted as usual. Looked like Mion had thankfully forgotten about how I'd barged into her house yesterday with that crazy talk. The more I think back on it, I felt like I really said something terrible to her. I was really thoughtless, and it wouldn't be weird if she yelled at me. It was highly possible Takano-san had exaggerated her story. I think our comrade and friend Mion, the young leader of the Sonozakis, one of the three families effectively controlling Hinamizawa, was pulling the strings behind the serial death incidents. It was a little unbelievable, but if there was even a 1% chance, if that was true, what I said yesterday to Mion might have been a success. Yes, it was no more than 1 in 100. But that little bit of effort might have brought the chances of saving Setsuko up even by even a tiny bit. At least I'd made that effort. After yesterday ended, I was sure I'd done everything I possibly could. If there was something else I could do, it was probably just to clap my hands and pray that Satoko's uncle would be killed by the curse. Just clap my hands and pray that someone dies. Hope Satoko makes it today. Me too. Sensei's doing things for her, right? I'm sure it'll be fine. My aunt is a welfare agent in Hinamizawa district. I gave her a call last night.
Huh? I didn't know your aunt was a welfare worker. What happened? Did you tell her about Satoko-chan?
Yep. Jie-sensei had called the child consultation center right after we talked to her. Child welfare officer apparently visited before the night was over. My aunt said that they were going to pay visits at regular intervals from now on. Enough with the dumb little stuff. I want to know what happened to Satoko. Did they get her safe? My aunt wasn't that informed about it. I was supposed to keep this a secret anyway. Her telling me was a big breach of ethics in the first place. Damn, it makes me feel even worse.
Let's get to school.
Right. Discussing this would just make us feel worse. It was far quicker to go to school and see if Satoko was safe or not. 3 of us nodded and ran off. Was Satoko safe? What measures had the child consultation center taken? I didn't care what. As long as we could go back to our peaceful life with Satoko today, it didn't matter to me. The shoe racks of the entrance, Ren took a peek in Satoko's shoe cubby.
Satoko's shoes are here. They're here.
Hey-chan, Satoko came! Thank goodness. We don't know if anything happened just because she came to school. Can't know anything until we see her face. We trotted toward the classroom. The classroom was lively, as it usually was in the morning. Satoko, where are you?
Beep. He's right here. Too early in the morning to be so loud. Would you please keep it down a bit? Satoko-chan, are you okay?
All of our friends crowded around Satoko excitedly. And she looks okay, right? Probation officer came, right? How did it go?
Who was it that called them? I swear, it was quite a mess, you know.
It was the teacher. You were absent for so long, of course she was worried. Satoko said, "I told you I'm fine," under her breath. She was still trying to overcome all the suffering on her own. It was a big bother to me and my uncle. Bye, Brad. You have a good day, too. That person just barged in on us suddenly.
Oh, it was a big bother to both me and my uncle. That person just barged in on us suddenly. Jeez. Everyone was worried about you, Satoko. Don't say it was a bother.
Ah, jeez. Anyway, what happened?
Nothing happened. Ho ho ho. My cold got better, so I came back to school. That's all. Can't take too much time off now, because then you're all worried about me. Ho ho ho.
What was Satoko saying?
What happened to, well, your uncle? Oh, he admitted there were some misunderstandings, and we both apologized.
Oh, no. Oh, God. That is probably the worst thing that could have happened. Well, no, actually, there are worse things. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Satoko, you dumby. Satoko, you dumby. Oh, my God. Hug. Riki-chan grabbed the back of my collar and pulled me away. Well, what is it, Riki-chan? Riki-chan silently dragged me all the way into the hallway. Riki-chan, what did that mean?
Satoko said nothing was happening and chased them away.
Nipa! Sad Nipa. That idiot! What But why? No, somewhere in my mind, I thought it might turn out like this. Satoko didn't ask for anyone's help. She didn't hide behind anyone. She was trying to ride out this pain. She wanted to show Satoshi proof that if he came back to them, she wouldn't need to hide behind him anymore. But Coach said probation officers can bring her to safety in an emergency, even if it's against her wishes. However much Satoko denies the abuse, it's a fact. Chie-sensei finally came. Her expression was far from cheerful. Yes, you're right, Maebara-kun. The child welfare officer determines that it's an emergency. They have the right to take her immediately to take them to safety, regardless of the affected party's intent. Then why? Why is Satoko's intent being respected so much? It's weird. Why don't they put her into safety? Well, after the person in charge at the Child Consultation Center looked into it from many angles, they determined... What the hell is that? Sensei, didn't you say it was going to be alright since you definitely save her? What's the meaning of this? This doesn't make any sense. Answer me, damn it! Okay, Keiichi, you're 14, and this is a grown adult. I don't think you have the right to be saying those things.
Keiichi, this is actually the third time someone has reported Satoko's child abuse. It happened twice in the past, too.
Fude-san! Sensei tried to stop her, but Rika-chan went on speaking anyway. Twice before? I heard they decided to wait and see after reporting it in the winter before last. What happened before then, too?
Satoko's father, who died, wasn't her real father.
What? Rika-chan, that's... what? I'm stunned at the sudden revelation. I had no idea what Rika-chan wanted to tell me, but it seemed really important, so I couldn't get a word in either.
Satoko's mother remarried. She brought Satoko and Satoshi with her. They weren't related by blood to her father. Satoko was a good kid, one who listened politely to what adults told him.
Satoshi was a good kid.
He immediately welcomed their new father and was loved. But Satoko was different. She was rebellious, she told lies, she played pranks. Her stepfather didn't like her at all. What?
What? So, what do you mean?
Even before she was given to her uncle and his wife, Satoko didn't have a very good relationship with her family.
Of course, her stepfather didn't have any malicious intent from the start. At first, he must have worked hard to get his new daughter to accept him. But the young Satoko didn't make any effort at all towards the end. She was distant towards her stepfather and never opened her heart to him, even a little. Just got on his nerves all the time, which seemingly forced lies and pranks. Her father's discipline and punishment must have been loving at first, of course, but that too faded quickly.
I don't know because I wasn't in Hinamizawa at the time.
Oh, I don't know because I wasn't at Hinamizawa at the time, but I learned this on the phone yesterday. What story did you hear, Sensei? That Satoko-chan wanted to trick her parents, especially her stepfather, so she inflicted wounds on herself so she could make up a false story about abuse. Oh, Satoko! 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 Are you serious? Oh, lordy. That she sent out an SOS herself. She made up a story about hurting herself.
Satoko made a fake phone call to try and get rid of her father she hated. Child welfare officers rushed there and heard the story. Her father generally apologized for a few times and when it got too far, and agreeing to let Child Welfare Center give him coaching. Related agencies looked into it quite a bit. They determined that Satoko-chan and her stepfather's hearts not being quite matched up was the cause of the incident. They found another problem above that with Satoko-chan.
Problem with Satoko? What was it? Satoko's mother. There were a few times
where she lived with de facto husbands, though their relationships didn't result in remarriage. From a young age, Satoko had been forced to call at least 2 or 3 people her father. At some point, Satoko's pranks escalated. She would spill food on purpose, turn over her plate, and even throw it. She would break windows in the neighborhood and shoplift candy. She would put thumbtacks everywhere and set other traps that seriously hurt people. Not in the way she did now, just to get laughs. She was also fond of telling lies that would be found out right away, and people got mad at her every time. But she never ever changed her behavior.
Please don't think Satoko-chan was a problem child. Satoko-chan was very young. It was an act of self-defense that she had to take against unknown men her mother had chosen. In regards to Satoko's problematic behavior, child psychology experts from public institutions indicated her actions were to draw her mother's attention to herself. They acknowledged that she had a form of harmful emotional trauma and declared that she needed counseling and therapy from professionals. They didn't know whether the therapy had healed the wounds in her heart. Satoko purposefully hurt herself and told them that she was being abused by her stepfather in an attempt to chase him out. But in the end, stepfather did abuse her, right? No. All the abuse had been made up by Satoko-chan. Stepfather, of course, may have scolded her in a somewhat emotional way, but it was nothing out of the ordinary. Satoko had lied to chase away her stepfather, and they saw through her right away and found out that Satoko had issues. Oh, could it be that's why, the winter before last, they decided to wait and see?
Yes. The Child Consultation Center had all their past records, so they needed to act carefully in case Satoko was lying.
What the hell? So what? Satoko might be telling a lie, so they needed to be careful? So how does that mean they just end up waiting and seeing? It was the girl who cried wolf. The fable about telling a lie once, making others unwilling to believe you later. That's bullshit! That has nothing to do with this, does it? Only what's really happening now is right now is what's important. Satoko is being abused by her uncle. Why is something like that happened in the past getting in the way of helping her now? Neither Sensei nor Rika-chan had anything to say to that. Anyway, yesterday, a probation officer visited to carefully determine what was going on. And Satoko dealt with them, put on the best, strongest smile she could manage and denied the abuse. Of course, she was probably being threatened to keep quiet about it from her uncle. Satoko was trying to outlast everything without asking for help. Satoko wanted to wait for Satoshi to come back home. She outright denied the truth of the abuse. What an idiot. What? You're not really enduring it. You really think pretending like this will actually bring Satoshi back? Just stop it already. Satoshi, he abandoned you. The fact that he hasn't shown up to save you now is proof, isn't it? So just stop it. Please stop being weird and pretending to endure it. Forget everything we just said. Understand? If you tell anyone else, your teacher will be very mad with you. Your sensei gave me a warning, then left to go back to the teacher's lounge.
Keiichi, please don't think Satoko is a pathetic, pitiful girl. She's living life.
I know that! She's our irreplaceable friend.
Satoko is still trying her best. Let's watch over her a little longer. A person from the consultation center said they'd visit periodically from now on. If something terrible happens, they'll help her right away.
Yeah, but only after it happens. Any more than that would have sounded like I was picking a fight, so I firmly swallowed my next words and went back to the classroom. Miu and Arena were talking to Satoko like they always did. It was a silly conversation. Humorous, even fun one, like it was any old day. If Satoko really said she could still endure it, then maybe I should do as Rika-chan said and watch over her. Maybe whatever help I offer will just go unwanted. Higurashi, when they cry. 7th expansion. I mean, he's trying, I guess. But there's not really much you can do in this situation, you know? Besides watch over her.
Okay, why don't we all have lunch? Beep. It's been a while since all five of us. Since it's been all five of us. That's really how it has to be.
Here, here. Come on, you too, Kei-chan. Bring your desk over. Satoko brought her own desk over as well, grinning broadly. Even knowing nothing had been resolved, this exchange was pleasant and made me remember how fun it used to be.
I can't have Rika making a bento for me forever. I don't mind. I have fun making your bento.
Rika-chan's such a good girl. Having such a good friend must be so reassuring. I put in the big steak, and Satoko puts in the burnt stuff.
I put in the big steak and Satoko puts in the burnt stuff. So if it was just Satoko, it would be so sad. So very sad. Nipa.
I take it back. Well, she's Rika-chan after all.
Hey, come on, look. I've got omelet rice today. Mushrooms and stuff are delicious. Delicious. Oh. I say it every time, but your craftsmanship is splendid. You could become a wife whenever and not have a problem. A wife? A wife? Eating a wife?
You what, Rena? Using the word wife is totally forbidden around Rena. Please don't say it again.
I'll think about what I've done. A little.
By the way, what's in your lunch, Mion? Looks different again today. We're all waiting in anticipation. It's a rich assortment of side dishes left over from what my uncle brought last night. Don't say uncle. Don't say uncle. That stew looks really great, huh? The color of the radishes too. Really good, right?
Wow, it looks delicious.
Stew tastes best when it's left overnight. This looks like it would be really good. And so there will be none left for Satoko. I'll eat it all and tell you what I think, so just be quiet and watch.
What was that? Hand over my portion too.
Elbow. Jesus Christ, they're so loud. Elbow, punch, headbutt. I'll use my knees too. Ora! Ora!
Oh ho ho. At close range like this, my advantage is unwavering. Unwavering. Keiichi-san. The daikon in your portion tastes really good.
Damn it, coming right for me at the start and using a combo attack. How humiliating. This little exchange. How long had it been? Looks like they ended up going with the wait and see approach, but maybe her uncle had realized he'd gone a little too far and would dial it back now. Her treatment improved a little. Would that be a good thing? Satoko was grinning wider than I'd ever seen as she chomped down on a mouthful of the daikon she'd plundered from me. Did it really taste that good? Satoko was somewhat cute like that. Just as I'd done so many times, I grabbed her head and started petting it. Catch! Smack! Flip-flop! Clatter-clatter! Huh?
Satoko-chan.
It was so sudden that for a moment I didn't know what happened. The back of my hand was stinging. I went to pet Satoko's head, and then she hit my hand? Well, what's wrong, Satoko? Satoko was scratching at her head, as though a pimple or something had appeared on it and become itchy. What? It was so sudden and so unprovoked that I didn't understand what had happened. She has trauma, of course. So maybe she just can't tolerate being touched by guys anymore? What's wrong, Satoko? At some point, her body had been covered in a thin layer of sweat, and her breathing had turned ragged. When I had her head, did she not like it? Is that what it meant? Hey, did you dislike being petted? Once again, slowly, I held out the palm of my hand and brought it close to Satoko's head. Don't do it again, Keiichi! If she didn't like it the first time, don't do it again. You dummy. The instant my palm of my hand touched her head, there was a shock like static electricity, and Satoko began to howl. Thud, slam. She grabbed my arm with both hands, and it was trying to fling off a snake trying to cling to her. As if trying to throw away something dirty, she threw it violently. It happened too suddenly for me to react. I hit the desk behind me, and both it and I fell onto the floor. The classroom fell deathly silent. Satoko bellowed. It sounded like she was in throes of death, and she unsteadily backed away. Then she threw up the food she'd just eaten. She vomited it all back up. Splish splat. The sound of Satoko's vomit hitting the floor rang out through the classroom. Are you okay, Satoko? You seem sick. I reached out a hand and she swatted away with all of her might. Such an extreme strength that I fell onto the floor again. Satoko put both hands onto her head as though protecting it, groaned some more, and took a few steps back. Then she began swinging both her hands around. Students in nearby seats were forced to evacuate. Grabbed anything within reach, bent to boxes, chairs, threw them, tossed them, and flung them about. Wait, stop it, Satoko. What's wrong with you? She screamed out as if Mion's words had caused her physical pain. No one spoke a word to her. All the students were withdrawing behind us, leaving Satoko alone in the corner of the classroom. Around her, there were desks and chairs all over the floor, bento laid scattered. It was terrible. All you could hear was Satoko's ragged breaths and the voices of the cicadas. I'm sorry. The strings of tension loosened around Satoko. Maybe she suddenly grew scared of her own actions because she started trembling and gave a word of apology. But nobody knew just who that apology was directed towards. So, for now, I decided to answer as everyone's representative. No, it's fine. Are you alright? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Our words didn't match each other at all. Satoko hugged her shoulders and back she went. Bang. She ran into the locker with cleaning supplies in it. Even that made her give a little yelp. The impact caused a bucket atop the locker to fall, making a loud sound, and that scared Satoko most of all. She almost jumped out of her skin, grabbing a bunch of the curtain in her hands. Nobody spoke to her. God, this is so depressing. Jesus Christ. They could only look, not even remembering to blink. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Satoko, what? What on earth? I stood up, took a step away from everyone, and approached Satoko. What happened?
I said, I don't know. You're wrong. Please stop. Please forgive me.
Just calm down. Satoko, do you know who I am?
No more. I hate this.
Every time I took a step forward, she grasped the curtains more tightly and cried out. Satoko, it's me. It's Keiichi. Don't you recognize me? I would never, ever hurt you.
No.
Come on, calm down. It's alright, I'm your friend.
Help me. I don't want to be scared. It feels bad. No, I don't.
Suddenly my shoulders were grabbed and dragged backwards. It was Rena.
Sorry, Keiichi-kun. Get a little farther back.
After pulling me back, she ran towards Satoko in my place.
It's okay, Satoko-chan. There's nothing to be scared of. Please, don't worry. No more. No more of that. Nini, Nini, help me, help me. Nini, help me. Ah.
As she gripped the curtains and kept calling for Nini, she continued to wail about being forgiven for something, to be saved from something. What is this? Myung gnashed her teeth and groaned, and there were tears falling from her firmly closed eyes. What the hell? What is this? Didn't this all come to an end yesterday? Weren't we supposed to go back to our old lives? Mion. Crash. There was a crazy sound. Ren had taken the cleaning supply locker and kicked it down to the ground. Everyone stood up surprised at Rena's unexpected act of brutality. After that, Rena embraced the bawling Satoko from behind and started crying with her, stifled. Rena, what's wrong?
Sorry. Ichi-kun, be quiet for a minute.
What is it now? What happened? What did Satoko tell you? What did you hear?
Shut the hell up! I told you to shut your mouth, asshole!
Jesus, Rena! Rena's raw, hostile emotion hit me like a brick. It was no more than a momentary howl of emotion for Rena, but it was more than that for me. She had shown me what it was behind all that emotion, what was in her heart.
Oh, Satoko. John. No more. Forgive us. We couldn't do anything for you. Forgive us. Nini.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Forgive us for being unable to do anything. Rena's words made me feel as though the blood vessels in the back of my head were all suddenly turning to ash. My vision grew distant, blurred with gray, and the world lost its color. I thought we could save Satoko. But though I knew it'd be the sooner the better, I thought there was no time limit for doing that. Never ever even dreamed that we could be too late. I had been making a huge mistake. Thought Satoko could be hurt, but never that she'd break. It was such a huge mistake. Like, this is, like, the raw consequence of what happens, like, in child abuse. The part that you never actually see is the effect it really has on the kid, you know? People, they break. Thinking that they don't is absolutely absurd. We needed to save Satoko. We needed to save her before she broke. A fatal lapse in awareness had brought this on. Whose fault was it? That went without saying. Mine. No. Ours. We all took on the duty of saving Satoko. We were negligent to the point of laziness. In that sense, this was the inevitable result. Even if this didn't happen today, and it all happened tomorrow, or the next day, or the next week, we'd all have just sat around doing nothing until that day. So this was the obvious result. I slumped down to my knees, just as Mion and Rika-chan had done, and I too closed my eyes tight and couldn't stop myself from sobbing.
What is all the noise about? Wait, what's happened?
Teacher came and her face screwed up at the terrible spectacle before her. The instant she realized the teacher was here, Satoko went through another complete change. She wiped her face with the curtains and, like nothing happened, smiled. Hojo-san? What on earth is going on here?
I just got into a little squabble with Rena-san is all. We went a little crazy over our lunches, right?
Rena didn't nod in reply. But then, since Satoko wished it, she nodded without strength. God. The rest of class couldn't keep up with her extreme changes. We all just stared in a daze.
It was just a little horseplay. I scared everyone out of their wits.
Satoko would probably sweep the whole thing under the rug. For what? Her heart is torn to pieces. So what? What else? You wanted your needy to help, didn't you? But unfortunately for you, Satoshi doesn't ever intend on coming back. Never that easy. He won't just conveniently show up and save you. So you don't have to wait for him anymore. You can cry, beg for help, you can run away. Ugh. We can't do anything, Mion suddenly said. Spoke then. Those few words had tormented me countless times. Those words were a spell, and when I heard them, my whole body suddenly regained its calm. My emotions all slipped away like they'd never been there, like a wave departing. And then the world's color flipped inside out. Whoa! Whoa! What's going on? My field of view expanded. My head grew remarkably cold, and I felt like my mind's volume grown even wider than the classroom we were in. At that time, my soul was doubtedly no longer than a small, petty vessel above my head, but floating in the air a little bit above it. It was a mysterious feeling of release. I broke free of the cramped confines of my skull and stretched out my roots in all directions as far as I wanted to. What is happening? What is going on? Keiichi! It was a strange feeling, one I'd never felt before. An odd sense of exhilaration. My sharpened senses caused me to transcend. My mind was sharper than a knife's edge, and I immediately decided that spending time to let myself be crushed with grief would be an absolute waste. I erased all the garbage information from my brain. I expelled the pointless emotions presenting obstacles to action. Mion, you curse it all you want. Curse our powerlessness as much as you want. Huh? I could have taken back what had happened by crying about it. I'd have cried all day. The fact was, this is how things had turned out. I couldn't take back what had happened. Top priority, then, would be to prevent the situation from worsening further and to sever the chains of misfortune. Till today, I'd been looking at things so narrow-mindedly, I could scarce believe it. To save Satoko. The only thing to do to save Satoko. That's the only thing I thought about. I didn't allow myself to realize the most basic, direct, and uncertain way of removing the source of Satoko's unhappiness. Oh my god, he's gonna do it! No, actually, I realized it yesterday. As for the means, I'd read aloud some stupid curse from some dumb deity. I never considered carrying out the task myself. I would obliterate Satoko's uncle. There were plenty of ways to do it. This was a task that held infinite methods. Ironically, the method of saving Satoko required mostly money. But the method of killing that man pretty much took no money at all. I could kill him with the least amount of investment. The least amount of money suited him. It was only the weight of his life. I kept eliminating needless, worthless information from my head, replenishing it with the knowledge I needed to achieve my goal. I used every cell in my brain to think about how I'd kill him. The way I'd killed him didn't matter. I would allow any method from whatever time, whatever country, as long as it ended in a quick and certain death. If I were to have an additional condition, it would be not to get caught. Removing him was an act designated to return the peaceful times we had with Satoko. If I was arrested in exchange for the removal, then we might as well killed each other. With only him gone, we'd go back to our normal lives. That was my supreme objective, my ultimate goal. Kill him, definitely. But definitely don't leave evidence either. Two alternatives at odds with one another. The condition of not leaving a trace back to me automatically narrowed the number of murder methods. No witnesses was an absolute must. Fortunately, given the right time in Hinamizawa, there would be nobody around. I mentally reconstructed the land around Satoko's house. The number of pedestrians different at different times. The movement algorithm of the neighbors. Would I lure him out, or charge at him? What would my weapon be? Where and when and where would I carry this out? Where? It needed to be somewhere I wouldn't leave a trace. When? It needed to be as soon as possible for Satoko's safety, without wasting even a millisecond. This is absurd. Completely absurd. When I thought about it this way, it struck me how easy the act of killing was. If I could leave evidence, if I was just going to kill him, anyone could easily turn into a murderer. But our reason prevented that. It told us that doing so would get us arrested for sure. In the end, being arrested by the police was the final thing that prevented the people from committing homicide. Absurd. You went all the way out into the very middle of the ocean. You wouldn't leave any trace at all. Anyone would drop those they hated into the depths if they knew that. It was all too easy to simply remove him. I would leave class right now, grab a metal baseball bat or something from the schoolyard, go to his house, and attack him. Estimated time would be 25 minutes. If I wanted us to kill each other, it wouldn't even be minutes. I could do it in 1,500 seconds. I knew just how much his continued existence depended on me. He was nothing. I could expel him from this world within just 1,500 seconds after making up my mind. But when I decided what to do, he only had 1,500 seconds. Actually, if I ran full speed to his house, that number would go down even further. But he was alive. He was still part of this world at this very moment, having torn Satoko's body and mind to shreds. Why? Because I was letting him live. I was permitting him to live, so he was alive. If I If I resigned that permission, he would be evacuating this mortal coil within 1,500 seconds. Oh my god! You'd think I'd let you breathe even 1,500 more seconds of air? I'm taking that as permission back. Right there, right here, right now. I'm taking back your breathing privileges! You'd better thank me for letting you live until today. However, I'd actually need more than 1,500 seconds. I'm not just gonna end you. Getting back our old lives is far more important. It's only you I'll be cleanly cutting out of this world. They won't find a culprit. I'll forget that I dirtied my hands on the likes of you as naturally as I brush my teeth before bed. So to do that, I'll make a special exception for you and give you more than 1,500 seconds. I'll give you special permission to keep on living as you'd have until I construct the perfect plan for your murder. Wait, Keiichi. You can't let that time go to waste. Yeah, I know. I'll kill him quickly. I'll remove him with certainty. I won't misuse any time to think of a plan. Think back. Tomorrow is Watsunagashi, isn't it? Last year on the night of Watsunagashi, her aunt died. Her head was busted open by some deviant and her brains splattered everywhere. That's it. He's someone who deserves to be given the death on the night of Watsunagashi. Hey, Yashiro-sama. You call yourself a guardian, but you didn't protect Satoko. Cursing Satoko's family for the damn stuff is your own business. And now you've made Satoko unhappy when she didn't have anything to do with it. I, Keiichi Maebara, hereby denounce you, the guardian deity of Humuzawa, a failure. We don't need you. Go back to the deepest, darkest parts of your shrine this year. Besides, if you had just cursed and killed both her aunt and her uncle last year, none of this would have ever happened. Curse this year, it's not on you. I'll be the one deciding. It won't be the three families controlling the serial deaths behind the scenes. No, not some vague people who I can't tell if they're buffoons or not. This time, I'll be the one to deliver divine punishment. Don't get in my way, so just watch. Just stay quiet and watch. I'll obliterate him. I'll wipe him off the face of the earth. I will stomp out his very existence. Go away, disappear, and die. I'll tear your heart apart just like you did to Satoko. I'll have your blood as payment. Whoa! Holy heck. Oh my god, we're still in class.
Keiichi-kun, are you alright?
He's not alright. He's not alright at all. Rena, Mio, and Rika-chan were looking after me. Had I fallen to the floor?
He surprised us. He suddenly fell down. Were you having a nightmare?
Oh no. The best dream I was having.
You're moaning.
Shut it. Quit speaking at me like that. I am a god now.
Beep.
My friends gave a start and backed away. What? Ren and the others, they exchanged glances, unsure of what to say, and stood confused for a few moments.
What was that? Your voice, Keiichi-kun?
Of course it was. Rena gulped firmly and opened her mouth.
For a second, Keiji-kun, your eyes were really scary.
My eyes? Probably just a trick of the light. Don't waste my time. I wonder if they can see Oyashiro-sama inside of him right now. Oh my god. Cause you know how their eyes look pretty spooky sometimes? I'm just assuming that his eyes are looking like that. I'm not mistaken. I've never seen those kinds of eyes before. What are these guys talking about? They've all been too scared of me lately.
You are Keiji Maebara-kun, right?
What was Rena saying? Who else do I look like besides Keiichi Maebara? The look I gave her seemed to speak quite eloquently to those irritated thoughts. She understood and quickly apologized.
I'm sorry. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god. Not the red eyes, not the red eyes. The one where they look like glazed over. You know? But holy heck. New tips, emergency. D23, number 44. Oh, I just got an achievement. 1500 seconds. Oh, lordy. This is insane. I loved that. That switch of his mind. Oh my god. It's like, oh. Oh my god. I don't know if you guys have ever felt something like that before. It's like actual insanity. I'm not saying I have. I'm just saying that it's like a feeling of absolute invulnerability. And the music, that was also very different. Very, very different from our usual tunes. Oh. Emergency. June 18th, 1983. Abuse issues regarding SATOKO Hojo. Urgent. To process SATOKO Hojo must be taken to immediate custody based on the items below. 1. Family situation. Life with adopted father who recently turned to Himizawa has already turned to disastrous and is currently being subject to unendurable physical and mental abuse from the father. Child Consultation Center's response. Child probation officer was dispatched yesterday on the 17th from the prefecture welfare office, but because of the 77 case, changed to continued coaching and cautionary action. Fortunately, the consultation office head does not properly understand the situation. Status of concerned child. Child already appears to be suffering from an outbreak of something close to neurotic or manic depression. Neurosis or manic depression. If her unstable pubescent mind is negatively stimulated by stress, it will put her development of a healthy body and mind at risk. This cannot be allowed to continue from a humane standpoint. Allegations made to the family court. We propose, based on the above items, that SATOKO Hojo should immediately be taken in protective custody. She should be secured temporarily under emergency allegations from the family court under Article 28. We request emergency coordination between all related agencies. So it was an emergency? So why did they not do anything? Because if that's true, what the heck? Wait, is Keiichi going to kill Teppei not knowing SATOKO was saved? Oh! That has to be it. That has to be it. That has to be it. D23, number 44. Fukujisho. D23, number 44, 1977. Child name, SATOKO Hojo. Blank year old. Residence, blank, Hinamizawa Village, Shishibone. Consultation circumstances. Telephone SOS from child abuse. Abuse situation. Child claims she has been physically abused by her adoptive father. Family structure, blank marks abusers. Adoptive father, real mother, older brother, child in question. Adoptive father and real mother entered family registry in 19 blank, the child of the daughter of the mother's previous husband. Child Consultation Center's response. On the day of the child's telephone consultation, the center called the child's school and asked for a situation. On that day, the child welfare officer on duty visited the child's house and conducted an interview. The adoptive father sincerely listened to the instruction and agreed to take child raising workshops in the city from now on. Part of the suggested coaching, the center will continue to observe the situation. Well, other notes. As a result of numerous counseling sessions at the city's education consultation office regarding the child, we learned that there was a high possibility the child's excessive distrust towards her adoptive father was the result of lack of communication. Abuse she claimed hadn't actually taken place. She had made a false report to distance herself from her adoptive father. Below is a note written in pencil by the person on duty at the time. The problem appeared to be more with the daughter. Chief Investigator F of the city's education consultation office said most of her stories of abuse were likely fabrications. They decided to shift the focus of their coaching to the child. Be cautious not to take everything the child says as truth. Oh, bruh. Bruh. Oh my god. Wow. 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 We still got so much time left. Man, Keiichi's really gonna go all out here. We gotta make a plan, and then we gotta take out the plan, and then aftermath. Those are the three things that we have left to go through. Oh my god. Wow. That really was something. Keiichi, borderline psychosis going on. This will surely end well. Surely will end well. Someone will die. You know? If it's who it's intended, then good. But if it's not who's intended, then oof. You know? Oh, let's save. Save. Keiichi, fine, I'll do it myself. Basically, yeah. Basically, that's what he was doing. Well, that's it for today. Oh my god, Keiichi. Absolute mad lad. Absolute mad lad. But, yep, that'll be it for today, huh? I'll be back with Heckin and Bioshock later, but it for Higurashi today. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Alrighty? Have a good day, have a good night, wherever the heck you are. Don't go full Keiichi, ever. Like, that is bad. That is bad. It may feel freeing at the moment, but no, don't do it. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, bye. Bye-bye.